Well, she never got pregnant before after his GF got pregnant, and after asking my friend why didn't he use protection. I've never died before, so I won't ever. I dated a girl who thought seahorses were the size of regular horses. She was so disappointed at the aquarium. My husband, who is quite bright, thought that roadrunners were about as tall as the hood of a car. He was so disappointed when he saw his first one run across the road in the desert. What? That little thing? I was microwaving some food. I hit the one, so it would automatically cook it for a minute. My friend asked why did you put it in for a minute? I usually put mine in for 60 seconds. I had to explain to him that it's the same thing. We were in high school. I have a similar one. Had to explain to someone that 0:90 on the microwave was the same as 130. They kept insisting 130 was more, and that I was crazy. Someone in our group lost a flip-flop in a river. We watched it float downstream. Another person in our group said to be patient because it'll eventually do a full loop and come back. Was it a particularly lazy looking river? If so, then they may have been correct. That there's no difference between turkey and ham because they both come from birds. I guess pigs really do fly in their world. I had a friend in college who asked me very seriously, so if beef comes from cows and pork comes from pigs, what animal does chicken come from? This involves a conversation with a guy I used to work with who was trying to lose weight, so he was cutting down on pasta. I've been doing pretty good, haven't had pasta in 2 weeks. Me, that's awesome. What's that you got in your hand there? Mac and cheese. Me, I thought you said you haven't had pasta in 2 weeks. I haven't. This is mac and cheese. Like the guy who told me I'm cutting down calories, eating way less. I even got this app to track everything I eat. So you enter the 2 orders of cheese sticks separately, or do they let you add 1 order and you just plug in the number of cheese sticks? I don't enter those cheese sticks at all. Why would I? Why wouldn't you? Because it was buy one get one. They were free. Asterisk a new hire at the cotton mill that had dropped out of school to go to work asterisk. How long do we get off for spring break? Oh, welcome to real life, you poor child. I knew someone who thought the sun and the moon were the same thing. She was 18 and just graduated high school. My wife has a friend that honestly believes you cannot go out during a full moon because you will get moonburn. How long does it take the meat to grow back on a cow when you shave it off? Average heyday player. I was solving a Rubik's Cube, and a guy asked me how many sides it has, and if I can make them all blue. OHH Rubik Cubes have lots of dumb phrases attached. My favorite is, I once solved 5 sides. I dated a girl who thought the hole in the ozone layer are where the space shuttle come through to land. And the code to open it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like on my luggage. Anyone else not able to sleep at night? Yeah, I don't think I'm ternal. Took me a few to realize she thought the term was nocturnal. Bless her heart. Friend and his girlfriend were over, watching some TV when an ad for an Anne Frank documentary comes on. GF, oh, wasn't she like Hitler's daughter or something? The room became very quiet for a while. I guess it saw something. Rep Hank Johnson, DGAP, who thought the island of Guam might tip over if too many people got on one side. I like how he gets really in depth about the width of the island and everything leading up to the question. Props to the admiral keeping a straight face. We don't anticipate that. Then he doesn't address the fact that an island can't tip over, but instead reassures the rep that the number of people being added is low enough that it won't be an issue. Man knows his audience. You can't get pregnant if you are on top. Because, well, gravity. You have your facts and I'll have my facts. It's crazy how many grown adults still don't understand that facts are not a matter of opinion. We were closing down the Bed Bath and Beyond I worked at, and we moved all the non-functional displays of the kitchen appliances off to an empty corner, roped it off, and put up signs that said displays do not work. Every single day, multiple times, we would find someone that had gone under the ropes over in that far off corner looking at them, and when we went to run them off they would ask what it means displays do not work. Can confirm. Have worked in retail and restaurants. Apparently blocking off an area is an open invitation for everyone to wander into an area they're not supposed to. Honestly, WTF. My chiropractor can cure autism with his bare hands and some essential oils. Too bad her chiropractor couldn't cure stupid. My dear, that's the last thing that her chiropractor wanted to do. The question right above this in my feed is, why is a square called a square when it has 6 sides and 8 corners? The hell sub is this from? Years ago, I found myself watching MTV Street Smarts with a man I had recently met. The question asked on the show was to put these events in chronological order from oldest to most recent. The events were Civil War, Man on the Moon, Ice Age. I laughed. I joked what a ridiculous question it was. He didn't seem the least amused. So I asked him, you know this, right? He replied, I'm not good with dates. Damn, he's not even Sesame Street smart. I don't have a girlfriend because females are too intimidated because of my career. He was an assistant manager at Outback Steakhouse. No, they don't have a girlfriend because they call women females. Was on the bus headed to class in Honolulu. A southerner got on and asked the driver, do you all take American dollars? The driver pointed at the American flag sticker on the window and with extreme exasperation said, you're in America. I heard a similar story about someone who had driven across border from the US to Canada. To paraphrase, they checked my ID and inspected my entire car. It was like I was entering a foreign country. If you drink a Coke and then a Diet Coke, the sugar cancels out. Sodas. Am I going to be accountable for everything I say? Overheard my old boss berating the rest of the staff in a shop I used to work at. Oof. I'm working on this with my 4-year-old, but she doesn't run a company lol. Salmonella is only caused by salmon. You're a chef, you should know that. Read this on a post in r/mildly infuriating. That's fucking hilarious though. These fireworks are wet. I'm gonna dry them off in the microwave. Jim Bob, why is there a hole instead of me house? I'm allergic to oxygen. I asked if they meant to say oxycodone and they insisted, no, they were allergic to oxygen. We're all allergic to oxygen. It slowly kills us over a period of 100 years or so. Depends on what nationality your oxygen is. What year did this happen? We were watching The Lord of the Rings. According to Tolkien, it is an imaginary period roughly 6,000 years before he wrote the book. Many years ago I had a short stint as a used car salesman. I overheard a fellow salesperson talking with a customer about a used truck he was looking at. The truck was 1 year old and had /15k miles on it. The customer told him, this is way too much money for this truck. I can get this year's model brand new for $2,000 less. My fellow salesman fired back, sure, but think of how much a new vehicle depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot. Within a year or two, this truck will actually be worth more. He did not make that sale. If it weren't for the same model part, he wouldn't have been such an idiot. But he was. Got a couple from my days working in tourism in Hawaii. One of my favorites was, what's the difference between your mushroom and Swiss burger and your bacon guacamole burger? Next one. For context for those that don't know Maui, you can see 2 different islands from multiple vantage points on the island. Anyway, we had stopped at a lookout for some tourists to take a picture and a guy being completely serious asked, so which one is Japan? I was like, Japan is about 3k miles to the northwest. If you can see it, you have superpowers, sir. Tourists here will give you an endless list of dumb questions. A couple of my favorites. Which side of the island is the Pacific Ocean, and which side is the Atlantic? And how long would it take to swim from one side of the island to the other, going underneath?